Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jiminy Flip It live chat show. It is Monday night, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. We are ready to rock. I'm really excited tonight. We have two very special guests, aside from my usual special guest, Mr. Travis Griffin, who I will bring in just 1 second. I'm making sure that everything is working. Hey, Dawn, how are you? All right, Sarah, good girl. Go get him. Spiegel, my goodness, there's probably a lot in there. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Good to see you. And there's Rootin. What's going on, man? Yep, all the celebrities are in the house this evening. Well, let me bring on my co-host for the evening, the one and only Travis Griffin. Travis.
Marty, how are you doing?
How are you? Good, how are you?
I'm feeling great.
I'm feeling good. I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah.
We have some ringers in the house tonight with us.
Yeah. How much did you have to pay to get them in?
That's we don't disclose that. We don't disclose that. That was supposed to be private information. Thanks for ruining the whole thing. Well, good night, everybody.
Put it in a private chat.
Yeah. No, it is my distinct pleasure to bring on somebody, a pair of fellows I'm sure everybody here knows or the community knows about. The one and only $1 Million Peddlers. Come on, guys.
Hey.
Live and in person. Welcome
$1 million.
aboard. Welcome aboard. Let me fix the arrangement here. There we go.
And thanks for the appearance fee. It was I don't mean to give it away because your next guest will want it as well, but it was a stack of used postcards.
I was just going to say, what was it used for?
Falls.
Very good, very good. As long as it's spent well, I don't mind at all. Well, welcome aboard, guys. It really is an honor to have you both. Big fans of your show as well. And I'm going to do the full screen option for you too. If you just want to introduce yourself to my crowd, I'm sure everybody knows you, but give us a little bit about your background and take it away.
Oh, there I am. Bigger
There
than
you
life.
are.
There. We're the $1 Million Peddlers, and I'm Paperboy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
And we're based in upstate New York. I've got a day job. I've got, what were we saying before the show? 18,989 items on eBay and about 24,000 items on Amazon and probably, I don't know, 400 items on other miscellaneous sites, Etsy and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of trying to make a go of it till retirement in 102 weeks, but who's counting?
Mr. Magazine, have a brick and mortar store for probably the last 30 years. My platform's a total 600,000 or more listings between eBay, Amazon, and my website. Got a big warehouse, 15 employees, and hopefully someday I'm going to make it go when Paperboy loses his voice.
Are you counting the amount of days till that happens too, or no?
It could happen tonight.
It could. That's true. It's very true.
He says that all the time, and I explained to him, we better hope that never happens if he understands how our show works.
Stage fright.
Oh, my goodness, no. Well, it's very cool. Again, thank you, everybody, for joining. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment, and I will put them up for the guys or for Travis or for myself. We are all ears tonight.
That's what Prince Charles said.
How many people are going to get that joke?
You?
I didn't.
I got it.
Three or four.
I got it. We're going to still probably stick with our format, everybody, that we're accustomed to where, well, hold on, Dawn said I should feel honored. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And I am honored. We're going to stick with
like a face shave, or was it somewhere else?
Oh, let's hope.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Will we? Oh, let's not.
Head
see.
shave.
All right.
Depends on how much more scotch
Hey, Bartamania, how are you? Hey, Eddie. Oh, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Great record shop, Eddie. He's Captain Eddie Treasures on Instagram. I'm gonna put a link in there for him. Picked up a couple of records from him. Great guy, great store. So go check out Eddie. I'll put a link up there momentarily. Everybody's still saying hi. Tracy got the joke. Oh, that's good. So at least 5 of us got the joke.
Yeah, I still didn't.
You still didn't?
No.
You're too young.
Probably too young. Probably way too young.
Probably not, though. You've heard of Prince Charles, right?
Yeah. And he's got big ears.
Well, there you go. That's the joke. That's the essence of
the
joke.
Oh, okay,
as far as it goes.
I thought it was going to be like a Van Gogh
No.
situation.
No.
Okay. Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let us
Well,
know if you guys have any questions.
Can
I'm sure
I ask?
Travis
Can I
has a
ask the question? Can I ask a question right off the bat?
You certainly can.
Yeah, because, and I know I'd like to start at the beginning, and you guys may have said it. I'm sure you've said it on your shows or whenever you guest star. But I have never seen the spiel. I'm interested in your guys' origin story. More like did you meet after you started selling? Did you meet because you were selling? How'd this start?
Well, we were at the lab and the spider radio. Oh, wrong origin.
What?
Wrong story.
He had the brick and mortar, or he and his father had the brick and mortar, and I had a roommate at the time that I was into collecting sports cards, and so was my roommate. And we used to go around to various stores around the Rochester area, and we started going in there. And he had a lot of older cards, so we were able to deal. And it's actually kind of funny. My roommate at the time was looking for a side gig, so
Eric
talked to Mr. Magazine and said, "Hey, maybe I can help you out on the weekends," kind of deal. Mr. Magazine said, "Sure." And my roommate goes, "I don't really want to do anything on the side. You go in instead." So I kind of went in and started helping him, and we went from there.
Cool. So it was a sports card shop circa 80s, 90s, somewhere in there at the height of their popularity before it just blew up and died for a while.
95 probably would be my guess.
Yeah,
About 95. Yep.
Because we did that one show
95.
in Niagara Falls.
Yep.
So you've probably seen a lot of up and downs in the market, right? In that market, you've seen it go up and down 2 or 3 times, I guess, at this point in 30 years.
I'm curious, Mr. Magazine. I mean, you had to pivot pretty hardcore in the mid 90s when there was no sports card market to speak of. Is that when you started expanding?
Yeah, we were kind of into everything, and then we started branching out. Record albums, magazines came probably 25 years ago, right around there.
I would say mid 2000 or mid 2000
Yeah.
or something like that. You were always into like toys and all that kind of thing also. So that's what you were into when the sports cards
superhero
died.
stuff, Star Wars.
Mhm.
My dad, he hung around for a while. He loved the autographs and tried to get in. Even when the market tanked for cards, my dad was still trying to get autograph signings with Nolan Ryan, Pete Rose, and when Mano was alive. So that always helped our shop because we had a lot of autographs.
That's cool. You guys ever get to Cooperstown? It's not that far from you, right?
Haven't been there in years, but I used to go there all the time years ago.
Because I went for I'm a Met fan, and Tom Seaver was my idol, so I was there when he was inducted in '92.
Oh, nice.
And it's awesome when you go to an induction, you get to meet all the living Hall of Famers at that time, except for Mantle and Yogi Berra. They were the only ones that didn't show up in '92, but everybody else was there. And you can go upstairs, and you were able to go get autographs. You had to like buy something, but they would have like Bob Feller and Ralph Kiner and some other people. It was really cool. I figured you guys would have loved that if you ever get a chance to get down there. It's really cool.
I think I went to that one as well. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
My dad used to get everything stamped and canceled, like with a stamp, and then they
Yep,
sign it, and that was like a big deal. Yeah.
And did you go to the game at the field? It was Mets and
I went to
Orioles.
the game, no.
Oh, we went to the game after that too. It was pretty cool. Yeah, that's
We know the thing about the Bob Feller baseball, right?
Which one?
I have
What
I have the rarest thing around, a baseball not signed by Bob Feller.
I know. I'm not, it isn't held in high regard. It was cool at the time, but yeah, you're right. The guy was like,
I was just looking up comps today because I was thinking about bidding on a Bob Feller autograph ball.
really?
And it was already up to, $15. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a steal. This Hall of Famer, famous pitcher.
And he died.
And I see all these auctions that ended up like $7, $6, $8. And I'm like, okay, I'll pass.
Dime a dozen. Is it just because he signed so much?
He signed so much.
Yeah. Whereas like Mantle, I guess, didn't. At least did he not sign as much as clearly?
He signed a lot, but then Upper Deck locked him in before he died. So he wouldn't sign jerseys and bats for anyone other than Upper Deck.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
It's hard to get an autograph from him nowadays, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really locked in.
Yeah. You can dig him up, though.
All right. So a lot of people, I came from a small business family. My dad, he had ran a Shell convenience gas station, but he was into cars heavy. And so he would buy bulk boxes and cases from, the tobacco candy company that would deliver the convenience store type stuff. So, he had all that same stuff at the time, but it was just like any kind of dedicated collector sports card store was just dropping like flies. So, I think it's really awesome that you figured out a path to stay in business all these years through that, because that was no joke.
Definitely wasn't easy through the hard times. Yeah, because I think at the peak in Rochester, there was probably 12 to 15 shops, and I think
Wow.
three lasted. That's about it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
Was it
And you-
Paperboy that came in? Was he kind of the MVP and kind of helped it?
Oh, I saved the business.
float?
No doubt.
Clearly.
He helped grow. He was my first employee, so from there, 15 at this point. So.
That's fantastic. And you
And
both
what about
started.
now? Sorry,
No, it's
Marty.
okay.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about now? The pandemic obviously blew up, or can you say pandemic? The thing that happened the last couple years, it certainly blew up the card industry all over again. I know it was kind of on the rise before that, but really took off. Now, what's your take on it? Is it sustainable? Where do you think it's headed?
So far, I mean, there's a lot of demand, and people are still buying these cards up, and the card prices are crazy. So I think it's going to last a lot longer than people think. A lot of people thought it was going to drop when the pandemic slowed down, but there's cards are still selling out in Walmart, online hobby boxes, and I think the breaks out too. It gives people some gambling, fever, so they can come up with $150, $100, and you can pull $1,000, $10,000 cards. So if that keeps going, and obviously the sports are huge. Football, basketball, and so I think it's going to go for a while now.
So you're not afraid of a bubble bursting. You're not afraid of that at all, right?
I hope it doesn't, because I've invested a lot of money in cards.
That was going to be my
my warehouse.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. God forbid that happens. My goodness, but you still hopefully got them at a good enough price that you won't,
Well,
lose it all. Won't lose your shirt.
You gotta be in it for the long haul, because you got Diane Williamson cards. I got a ton of them. I'm not going to sell them now because he's at he's at a low, so you got to wait.
Yep. Buy and hold.
Back, and then he'll be strong again.
Very cool.
Do you guys do those breaks? Have you thought about doing the breaks or anything like that?
It's time consuming. You need an in with the hobby. Everyone wants the hobby boxes. That's where the money's at. But I kind of weighted up like what I'm paying my employees to list cards, and to me it's more of a guaranteed thing, where the breaks, you got to buy the cards. It's more time consuming to pay an employee to help out. And, I think you need at least 2 people.
Gotcha.
Maybe someday, but right now we're short employees as it is, so we'll keep plugging away, just listing the old-fashioned way.
And how many do you have now? How many employees do you have now?
We were at 15. I think we're at about 13 right now. So, we're trying to hire more. It's really hard right now.
Yeah. People just not motivated to work. Is that the dilemma that a lot of businesses,
or they want to make what I'm making? So
right, yeah,
out of the gate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not everyone can get Paperboy for pennies on the dollar for his labor.
Maybe they can outsource to Paperboy.
There you go. Yeah.
Not only is it pennies on a dollar, it's pennies on a dollar in trade.
Store credit. You got 17 cents store credit for working your 5 hours. So, Dave, you were explaining a little bit how you work at the store or at the warehouse, or is it all one place? First off,
there's 2 different places. I go in.
Okay.
I go in Monday morning to help them with a lot of the back office work.
Okay.
Solving problems that have come up during the week and all that kind of thing, and canceling orders when people haven't paid and all that kind of thing. And there are a few older comics that were listed a long time ago that I know where they're at, so I find that kind of thing and help them print postage on some of the weird things on stamps, all that kind of thing. Just a lot of just that kind of stuff that he doesn't really like to do, honestly, when you get down to it. And I'm pretty good at it, so I handle those tasks.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a great team.
Really
yeah.
And then things like when sales tax comes due, obviously I'm figuring the numbers out for that to put in for the sales tax, etc.
Do you do that kind of stuff? I know you have a government job.
I do.
So I know you work, but is that your background with them?
Yeah, I'm an auditor for the state. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I work
comes in handy.
Nobody likes you.
Really handy.
And I'm sure it has nothing to do with my personality at all because of my job.
No.
Yeah, it's the job.
Obviously.
I'm curious.
Cool.
You guys
It's
both
nice
started
to have
with
skill
things.
set.
You both started with things you really enjoy, right? With products that you enjoy and sports cards. What was the first thing, or do you have anything that you learned along the way? Like, what was the first category that you knew nothing about that you found yourself learning about and selling? Was there anything that kind of came out of nowhere that?
Magazines for you.
Oh, well.
Well, actually, you know what it was?
The scuba tank was a.
Well, it's scuba tank.
Yeah, we just learned how to sell a scuba tank.
That was
All right.
back in the days when there was when there were auctions around Rochester. Right now, there's no good auction houses. There were 3 or 4 auction houses back in the 90s or early 2000s, and we ended up buying like scuba tank and scuba gear and all that for like $15 or something like that because nobody wanted it, and I forget what for like $400 or something
more,
like
more
that.
than that. It was like over $1,000.
It was over $1,000. Yeah, it was crazy what everything ended up going for, and we're like, okay, I guess we know that's good if we have. There's your bolo.
Did you guys do a test run? That's scuba gear.
Yeah, we filled up the bathtub.
And you guys took turns sucking oxygen down. You probably get more money for it now.
Are there any categories that you've picked up over the years that you sell readily, like other than a one-off like that? Like, is there anything that you just like learned 5 years into it and said, "Oh, I'm going to pick up jewelry"? I'm using jewelry as an example. I'm not saying you sell jewelry.
Well, I think
brand new.
I think I remember, and Mr. Magazine does not remember, even though it was at his store. One of the first things that we did a foray into, when I say we, I mean him, did a foray into was books. We knew nothing about books, and somebody came in and sold like an old Bible and a bunch of Lois Lenski books to him. I don't know if you know who Lois Lenski is or not, but she's a children's author.
Okay.
And he went and he listed them all, and then ended up getting a lot of, he didn't get negative feedback, but ended up getting problems with people because they've probably printed 50 different versions of them. Well, we didn't know the first thing about it. We listed, Lois Lenski, whatever, cowboy at the park or whatever, and the copyright date might have been 1944. So we put it down for 1944 book, not realizing it was like a 1962 print. We had no idea whatsoever about it. And he's like, oh, and he steered away from books after that.
Yeah.
I kind of got into magazines, but that was like the first foray outside. And then I got into books after that. I said, oh, there's a lot to learn, but I'm not going to do that. I know now to look for the printing and all that.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Something that was brand new. That's fantastic, though.
So you haven't been back to books since?
I do some books, but more like
ISBN ones.
ISBN, yeah, newer stuff.
Okay. Just scan them.
If someone comes in with Asian books, a collection. I'll buy a collection of something. If I know nothing about it, I'll flip it to Paperboy or save it for him to trade or whatever. Usually, I'd stay away from the older stuff.
And that's one thing. I mean, I'm going to go off the reservation a little bit right here, but we both got into magazines. We both sell a fair amount of magazines, but the funny thing about it is almost 50s through 70s, I would say, would be where he and I would get an arm wrestling over something and he would win. But 80s and on, I do very little, and pre-50s, he does very little. If somebody came with a stack of 1920s magazines, he probably, other than like Vogue or something like that, which are obviously very, very good, he would probably save them and flip them to me for something or other because he just doesn't have the interest in the, he doesn't have, and nothing against his employees, but they may not know who the author in 1902 was. Like what is selling this magazine from 1902? Whereas I don't know what would sell the magazine from 2002.
Right.
So you're an old soul. Actually, your bolo show that you guys do, was it every Saturday?
Every
you guys have
Saturday,
a bolo?
9 o'clock.
It's one of I see a lot of bolo shows, but I'm not going to lie. I learned more on your bolo show about a diverse set of items, but I really especially love those kind of things like you just mentioned. And Mr. Magazine, he's got cards, and it's always just blows me away what those cards do. And then you've got like these. I still remember the Rochester model. I forget her name. She's got the short black hair.
Oh, Lulu. Yep. Yeah.
Lulu.
Louise Brooks.
Yeah.
Louise Brooks. Yep.
I still remember that. And I'm like, gosh, it kind of ignites the fire to, there's a buyer for everything. Geography is important. Maybe even more important than the actual name, but to have a name combined with the geography is just really cool. So I learned those things on those bolo shows, and it's pretty much my favorite bolo show out there, to be honest. I love it. Yeah.
Hit the like button.
I agree. Yes. And
Hey,
you know
Marty,
what?
I just hit the like button.
Oh,
You're
very
up-
good.
Yeah, you're up to 8.
Oh, gee, thank you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you for the countdown. I appreciate it. I liked your anti-bolo video. I thought that was
Yes.
one of the most original things I've ever seen. I really, really enjoyed that. And that's just as helpful to weed out the garbage, right? And show people don't waste your time and money on this. I thought that was exceptional and really unique. It's tough to come up with unique ideas on YouTube. It really is. Everybody does the same kind of stuff pretty much, right? And something like that is incredibly unique. I really enjoyed that.
Well,
I hope
one
you do
thing,
more. Hope you don't have to do any more, but I hope you do more.
well, one thing that we're a small channel, and one of the advantages of being a small channel is not that we don't look at the numbers, because obviously everybody wants views on their videos. I mean, let's be honest, that's what you like to see it.
Right.
But the positive thing about it is we can do videos that we feel are good videos, as opposed to getting locked into the numbers and like, oh my gosh, every time I do a sourcing video, it's going big. I need to keep getting big. I'm going to do 8 straight sourcing videos.
Right.
We'll do them if the time is right for one. If it's something interesting, we'll do one. But we're not just going to do a sourcing video to get numbers.
Fantastic.
And we've got one of the videos that really did not get a lot of views, but I think it's a very helpful video. Did you see the video about authenticating autographs on the fly?
No, I don't recall that one.
No, we didn't do any kind of research before you guys came on.
We should have watched it.
Yeah. Tell us about it. Yeah.
Nobody saw it. That's the whole point. No, but it's one of those about how if you pick something or other up and it's got an autograph on it, what are some quick ways to ascertain whether it's real or not? In other words, weed out if it's obviously not real. How to weed it out? Some of it's the provenance, some of it is what is it signed on, et cetera, et cetera. And we enjoy doing the video. And it's one of those videos that I think will help people, but they don't realize it will help them. But at some point, they're going to come across a playbill that's signed, or they're going to come across something that's signed and say, hey, wait a minute, I think the $1 Million Peddlers had a show about that. They'll watch it. They'll say, hey, wow, that actually helped me because.
Yeah.
We can put that kind of thing out because we're not chasing the numbers. And I think it is an advantage.
I totally agree. Absolutely.
Great idea right there from Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy, see that? That was a good idea. Day in the life video.
It does remind me, you guys did a series. Now, I think Tracy's idea here is a little different, and I actually would love to see that. Maybe on a day where Dave's not working there, though.
Oh, I don't blame you.
But you guys did a series where I don't know, it was like 10 episodes long or something like that of kind of the cradle to grave operation of Mr. Magazine's.
The warehouse. Yeah.
13 episodes. Yep.
That was pretty cool. How did those
expensive.
episodes do numbers wise? How did those do?
Oh, those were actually pretty good. Those actually had pretty good numbers comparatively. And we actually, for anybody that's interested in that, we put them all together in one. Boy, now I'm losing the
playlist.
That's what it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice. They're all together in one playlist. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good idea. It makes it easy to for viewers to just keep watching one after the other. That's
and this summer we're going to do the same thing with the Paperboy Palace. We'll do the same thing. Gotta wait.
Paperboy Palace. Please, is that going to be really the title? Because I think it really should be. It's not the bathroom, though.
No.
You want to see me on my throne?
Throne, right?
That's the last episode. That's where you make and take offers, right there. So what's the Paperboy? Is that for real? Are you being sarcastic? Is that going to be?
No. We're definitely going to do that. I've been meaning to do a thing about it. We actually ran a neighborhood kid and I sat down and looked out in the garage, and we're going to be buying a bunch of shelving and all that. And we're going to show the rehab of the garage and the stuff out there, and then we'll come in the house and show things around here as well.
Oh, very cool.
Cool. I think those behind the scenes, like Tracy mentioned, and the series you guys had. I mean, $1 Million Peddlers. Mr. Magazine. He's 99% of resellers are not in the situation that he is. So that's a whole different unique ball to look at. But I think people love that. And I think people will really tune in to see. I think people love just seeing what other people are doing because there's so many good ideas and crappy ideas. They're going to like, oh, I'm glad I'm not doing that. But also, man, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Those are really informative. They're real.
Yep, and I know at some point we're going to do one over at his brick and mortar also.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm actually putting a link in there to that video for you guys with the
Oh, thank you.
authentication guide. Encourage everybody to go over there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We can double the
Appreciate it.
views from 2 to 4.
Hey,
Yeah.
they all count.
Thumbs up on that thing.
Maybe I'll
Huh?
watch it now.
Thumbs up.
You got to watch the whole thing. Just put it on mute or something.
Oh, wow.
Tracy says she wasn't aware that there was a Paperboy Palace. Is this the? Is this like the? What do they call it? The key issue? Is this the first? The first public announcement of the Paperboy Palace, or has this been mentioned before or alluded to?
I believe it had a previous cameo at some point.
Okay.
Alluded to.
Was it in the shadows? In
There
one
you
of the
go,
other yeah, that's what I figured. But this is the first full page spread that the Paperboy
All right,
Palace
this is the Hawk 181. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Well, yeah, if you guys are not, I think like almost every name I see in here, I know I've seen watching your guys' videos. So it's almost like we're preaching to the choir here. But if for some example or way that one of you guys accidentally dropped subscription to these guys, you're really missing out. They really got informative content. They don't do gimmicks. It's fun. They have a really good personality and like a mesh between them. It's just
We'll try
very
to show
real.
that later.
Yeah, if you guys could try to do that
Yeah.
in this show, that'd be great. But
It's good for ratings.
yeah, but they really do. That's not a lie, and it's so rare in the shows that I watch. There's passionate folks, there's informative folks, there's educated folks, but I think it's really cool to find real folks, and that is the word I keep coming back to when I watch your guys' videos. It just feels really real and identifiable, and that's my favorite part about your vids. So I hope that everybody here is subscribed, but if you're not, you really need to check them out.
Oh, that's mandatory. And it's mind-blowing the volume that you guys do, but like Travis just said, but it's still something that everybody can relate to on a much smaller scale, obviously. But the practices and the ideas behind them are the same. And I think everybody could benefit from employing some of those in their own store and their own channel, as a matter of fact. You're right. I'm gimmick-free as well. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. To each their own. But I don't think you need to be that way. I think you need to be authentic and be yourself.
Well, not that I haven't been practicing spinning plates on the sides.
Well, that's totally besides the point. Yeah, but
you guys are also active in other social media. Where can people find you in other social media avenues?
Basically, we do an well, one of us does an Instagram every day.
Who is it?
You'll have to check our Instagram feed to see.
My bucket list. Yeah.
So we're on Instagram, but the other thing that we do that we try to have some fun with is if you go on the channel, the $1 Million Peddlers, and you go in the community tab. I don't know if you've seen that or not. I know, Travis, I know you've seen that regularly. I try to put up a funny like a comic book cover, and I make comments about it, or a book cover and I make comments about it, just about the absurdity of the cover itself. So it's always fun and a good laugh.
This is first that I've heard about that, but I'm going to check it out.
You should check the account once in a while.
You should see what he's saying about
See what he's saying about you.
I mean, there's some libel there. You know what I mean?
Eric has a good question out there, guys, if you wanted to take a look at it.
Yeah, it was a really good question.
Yeah.
I guess my question to Eric, we're going to turn the tables on him.
Always.
Is he talking about for buying or selling?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, what's the market he's talking about? The selling market or the YouTube market?
I thought it was YouTube just because it was kind of on the heels of what we were talking about, but I don't know because he said reseller channels.
Well, see, and I took it to be whether if everybody, we'll just use Auction Professor as an example. With him talking about paper items, has that hurt because everybody's out chasing paper items, or people get them and undersell them?
Yeah, and Eric is talking about selling.
Selling.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think that even from the start, I know that one of the big questions people have is, okay, we'll even take the bolo videos, for example. aren't you afraid that you're cutting your own throat? You're out there doing this and you're out there giving away all these secrets and all that kind of thing. And the answer to that is no. And one of the reasons why is because some percentage of people that watch are never going to act on whatever. And the other thing too, and as Travis had said earlier, geography is so important. First off, if I'm going to an estate sale, you're probably not going to be at that estate sale. I can tell you all day long that this is a really good item. You're not going to be there.
Mhm.
The person that walks into Mr. Magazine's store didn't offer it to you first. So it doesn't hurt there. And the other thing is we're going to find up here Kel Ripken stuff left and right because he played for Rochester Red Wings. We're going to find Buffalo Bills stuff left and right. We're going to find Lulu Brooks stuff left and right. That's not really going to, the odds of you finding a lot of it if you live in Chicago or you finding a lot of that if you live in Kansas City are slim. And that's why we did the one video saying that you need to learn the history and geography of your own area.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Frederick Douglass was big up here. You can find Frederick Douglass stuff up here. Susan B. Anthony, you can find that up here. We're not going to find Cesar Chavez stuff up here.
Right.
Boy, you're getting all the millennials with all these names I'm dropping right over here.
That's all right.
Do we have any millennials?
I don't
Do you
think
have
so.
a
I
demographic?
don't, we don't attract millennials. We don't.
All right, question.
Think
Travis,
about
you know
them.
who Cesar Chavez is?
I do. I'm from California, so
Oh,
I do
there you
have
go.
some
All
awareness
All right.
for Cesar Chavez. Yeah,
Hey, want to crow?
and Lou Diamond Phillips, which is unrelated.
Nice.
Might have
Right.
played him.
Might have played. It might have. Allegedly. That's a great point.
question and a good
That is-
answer. Yeah.
Very good answer. Are you satisfied with your response, Eric? We need to know. Or do you have follow-up questions?
I have a so in my
Depends
case
on the
we're
millennium.
we're in Colorado Springs, and there's a lot of military that retire here,
Okay.
whether it's Air Force or Army, even Navy. So when they age out or they move on to the next phase of their life, these estate sales are filled with, at this point, it's mostly Vietnam or Korean War, or stationed in Berlin, that kind of stuff from the 70s. But just tons of various military magazines and helmets and clothing and patches and, buttons, all that kind of stuff. So I get to find all that, and learning about all the various squadrons and the tours and stuff like that definitely helps me when I'm out looking to find things that I know will sell cross country, because military people may end up here, but they have families all over the place that are interested in carrying on that legacy. So I guess that's what's here. What about where you're at, Marty?
I'm in the Philadelphia area. So
There's
in
a lot
Philadelphia,
of really good stuff over.
there's a
in
lot of really good
A lot
stuff
of
in the
good stuff.
Philadelphia area, obviously just by virtue of where we are. And that's the whole story here, the geography. And I just wanted to add upon what you guys were talking about not being afraid to disclose certain bits of information and stuff. Very good point about that. And even what you just said, Travis, nobody, if you are in an area that's big on militaria, is that how it's pronounced? Militaria? I think that's what it says, right? The military stuff. Well, if and when you have your own YouTube channel and you start talking about this stuff, you don't have the fear of people, flying out to your town and gobbling up all the goodies. You're just giving out general information about a topic that you're passionate about or that you know about or that's readily available in your area. So I don't think there is any fear. I have a series on print ads that I'm known for so far. And we're going to talk about that, Mr. Magazine. But instead of buying individual magazines, what I do is I buy magazines, same thing, bulk 600, not like you guys, but 1,000, let's say. And I cut them up and I sell the individual ads within them. And I make 100 times more than I could get for face value of a magazine. So I have it's labor intensive. It takes a lot longer, obviously. But the point of my video series, and I got a lot of that commentary as well. Why would you give this away? So I'm like, I'm not exactly what you said. 90% of the people are just going to watch it, enjoy it for the content. They're not going to act on it. That's just a given. And that's not, a disparaging remark on people that watch the videos in any way. It's entertaining. It's thoughtful. A few people you do light a spark with, though, which is pretty cool. I welcome that. I encourage people to get into something new. I would want to go out and find something new that sparked my interest. Wow, I never knew that. And maybe I would act on it. Maybe I wouldn't. So I think that's a really good point, that there shouldn't be a fear of giving out information, or that you're going to, you're giving away the store and you're going to tank the card market. How many millions of people are dealing in cards right now? Are you afraid? No.
But you know what the spark is that you might trigger as well is in somebody like me. I watched the video thing, and I don't deal in ads, generally speaking. But all of a sudden, I'm at an estate sale, last day of the sale, and they've got a bunch of ads over in the corner.
Yeah.
And I normally would walk right by them, or stamps or something else that I don't deal in.
Yep.
And I just say to them, geez, you're closing up in an hour and a half. What are you doing with all this stuff? Going in a dumpster. How about $20? I take that entire box full of stuff. Okay, get it out of here. Now
Exactly.
and that'll keep me busy for a while, and I'll find a few good ones in there, and I'll fun sorting through. And even if all I do is lot all the car ones out together, I still have made money.
Exactly.
Will I've left money on the table? Yes, I'm certain that I will, because I won't know that this is the good car. I won't know this is the good watch. But if I still sell 12 watch ads that were in there for $25, I made my money back on that alone.
Exactly.
And you bought them and sold them for $20 a piece.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So no fear, everybody. No fear. I don't want to see any more comments like that. I've only had like 2 or 3, but they're semi-bitter. I don't know if there are other dealers or other people that do the same work and they're afraid of their little niche being exposed. But I think
it's a valid question, though. I mean, I think there's probably I would say video game market probably got pretty saturated at the beginning of that event that happened in 2020. Because you could see that those numbers where they spiked for a very long time and then it was a race to the bottom. They still sell well, but I mean, Eric's not necessarily wrong. That's for sure. There's certain niches that I think the exposure that YouTube brought. In fact, I got into this because I saw a video game YouTuber, watched it for a long time and said, I can do this. And I'm sure I wasn't alone. And then I expanded to other things. So yeah, I mean, I would say that's there, but there's so many items. There's so many diversive niches that as long as you're having fun finding them and listing them and knowing you can make a living off of it, then keep doing it. Keep doing it. I don't think anybody's in danger here.
I think the only place that you could end up causing problems for yourself is if you have a niche that you have found on a common item that nobody else has ever thought of.
Mm-hmm.
That would be where it is. If you're the only person picking it up and selling it, and then all of a sudden everybody goes, hey, wait a minute, he's getting $25 each out of that. I see it at a garage sale, and they're across the country. Every garage sale has them.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, yes, I know that. What's her name? Lindsay. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen her on her YouTube channel. I can't think of her last name, but she had said that one of her first videos she was doing a lot of retail arbitrage, and she went on and said, I just bought this at whatever store, on Family Dollar, whatever it was. And she went on air and said it, and then everybody went out and bought it. Well, that's because that's across the country kind of deal.
Yes.
But other than that, something obscure, I can tell you about some, this is these Civil War documents from the 1850s from Rochester, or 1860s from Rochester. If you get them, they're great. They're probably nowhere but here.
Right.
Yeah. I still think Tracy's got a nice example there. That statement, it reminds me, if you're into baseball, right? They're into these sabermetrics with all these advanced statistics. And let's say you come up, you're a rookie and you're on fire and you're spraying balls all over the field, or you're spraying balls to left center. Well, then they start pitching you different and you stop being as successful. So you can continue trying to do what you've been doing that made you successful, but you can continue to have lower and lower results. So a good hitter will adapt. He will need to start spraying the ball in different places on the field. And I kind of think that this industry is not so different from that.
Oh, no, not at all.
Phenomenal analogy right there, Travis.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I'll give a perfect example. I've been looking at my sales, and I don't know if you saw our live show last week or not, but we were talking about brighter days are ahead. Mm-hmm. And my numbers this year are not as good as they've been the last 2 years. However, they're the best they've been since 2013, leaving out the last 2 years. And the problem that I got complacent, and I didn't really change very much at all. 2013 was a very good year. 14 was less, 15 was less, 16 was less, on down. And the numbers were decreasing. My sales numbers were decreasing year after year after year, and I wasn't changing anything up. So that's exactly to your point right there. I just was still listing the same stuff with the same bad pictures, the same crappy listing that I had been doing that sold in 2013. Well, the industry moved on, people moved on,
Mhm.
and I was still doing the same thing. And I didn't realize it till probably mid 2019 because I'm a very slow learner. And then I changed things up, and I noticed things were really taking off at the end of 2019. Then something happened in early 2020, and obviously everybody went really well at that point.
Yeah. The key is to recognize that something needs to change and try to do it sooner than later, I guess, right? Like, don't wait
6.5
3
years. Come on, that's not
Come on,
too
that's,
bad.
yeah.
I like your word use though, complacent. That
Yeah.
it's easy to fall into that, especially when you got a full-time life going on around you too, and you're used to making the buck, and maybe the bucks have been dropping, but you're still happy to be making the bucks. So you lose that motivation, or maybe you don't have the time to start seeking out other avenues or different things. So that's certainly easy to fall into. I know I've been doing that. So, and your sales suffer as a result.
Yeah. Eric is saying we all have secret items. Ooh, if you see the YouTube push.
Watch Eric's watch 1987 Ventures secret barn video to look in their death piles to find out what those are.
Yeah, we're looking forward.
We got smart chatters. They come on, and I learn just as much from our people in our chat
every week
than I do from hearing myself talk, which is not saying much, but we got some smart folks in here, and it is always a blast to see what they bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was going to say, you were talking earlier about military items. You know what actually has a little bit of level of value right now that was complete garbage 10 to 15 years ago? Remember how everybody went overseas for, what was it, Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm and all that? And everybody brought the money back from Iraq?
Okay.
And that stuff, you could buy piles of it for $1, $2. They're actually going for $1 to $2 per bill, which actually is a fair amount of money now, given how many of them, how easy they were to get at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just not because our economy sucks right now, right? Our dollar.
No, yeah, they're using.
We're behind the Iraqi dollar.
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with
my gas with them.
Dawn has no secrets. Right. We believe that.
Oh, that's a good point. So, Chuck, how do you? I mean, you buy in bulk. How do people know? Do they ever bring you different things, or do they just know your niches and they bring you just that?
No, we get all kinds of stuff. I mean, and I'll buy anything as long as I know what I can. If I can make money on it and the price is right. You know, I've had those anvils I talk about them all the time. You know, I knew nothing about an anvil, and some guy shows up with his
anvil, like a creating like swords.
Yeah.
All various different sizes.
You know, he pulled in with his sedan, and it was almost on the ground. It was probably 1,000 pounds of anvils. I knew nothing about them, but he wanted like $200. And what I normally do is I'll go to my desk and I'll just, for the heck of it, just to see what one's going for. You know, if they're 10, 20, 50 a piece, I'm like, well, 200 a deal, I'll take it. You know, we loaded them into my shop, and I think I sold after a couple of years, sold them all, and there must have been 30, 40 of them. So now, if the anvils ever come in again, which I doubt they will, I'll buy them.
I think you got them all.
Yeah, anything, musical instruments, I'll buy. I look them up if it has a model number, a year, a brand, and I'll see what one's going for. I tell my customers, I'm straight up, I'll pay 40 to 50% of average eBay sold price and the condition it's in. I tell all my customers that, and I'll even prove it to them. I'll print it out and I'll say, hey, what you have is $80. I'll give you a 35 or 40.
That seems pretty fair. I mean, I bet you a lot of resellers wouldn't even drop the eBay word like that. Yeah. So that's pretty fair. That's probably why they keep coming back to you, because they know you're going to give them a fair deal.
People do their own researching too, like these Funko vinyl, pop vinyls, they'll go on their website and they're about 25% higher on eBay. So I get this all the time. They'll show me their collection and it's worth 5,000 or 8,000. I said, well, on eBay, it's probably worth 25% less. I'm going to offer you 40 to 50% less of that price, and then they'll understand, or they'll shop it around, and 9 out of 10 times they'll come back to me because I'll pay more than anyone. And I do the volume, so I can afford to do that.
Right.
How much do those things typically? I know you said there's a bunch of sizes.
I was going to say shipping. My God,
for the anvil,
shipping and anvil.
We had the jeweler ones, which are tiny, all the way up to the train ones, which could have been 50 pounds or more.
Oof.
Oh, 50. I was thinking like 200 pounds.
I thought they were more than that. Yeah.
And we were trying to flat rate, box them and stuff. That wasn't gonna happen.
The box is just
Do the
disintegrates.
Frankenbox thing, right? Try to make them fit.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. There aren't more anvils out there because in the 1950s they were always dropping from the sky.
I don't get it, but I want to laugh. Is that from a Looney Tunes?
There you go. There you go.
See,
not
I'm as
back
young
yet.
as Dawn is, so I don't get all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. See, Dawn brings up a good point though about I thought that the volatility in that currency too would make it like pretty much worthless regardless of how long you hold it. But I guess you're saying it's gone up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they may have changed the bills after Saddam got out. I don't truly know, but everybody brought them back as souvenirs.
Yeah,
But they actually are selling for $1 to $2 per bill now.
it's pretty cool.
I only
I
know
need to
that
text
because
my friend because he was there twice. He's probably got some of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about rupees? Are those worth anything yet?
that I don't know. The only reason I know this is because I picked up a collection of stuff and there was a pile of them in there, and I go, "What am I going to do with this stuff?" And then I looked it up online. And I go, "Wow, they're actually worth something nowadays."
That's incredible. Hi, Lori. How you doing? Just got back from the post office. Wow.
Well, I
You
think
work there?
that kind of ties in with junk wax. I mean, you want to talk about something other that used to have no value whatsoever, and ask Mr. Magazine what some of the junk wax goes for nowadays. For anybody who
It's
doesn't
crazy.
know, those were very, very common sports cards from the 90s.
Oh, okay. Never heard that
Yeah,
term.
they had the wax wrappers with the bubble gum and
Mhm.
boxes. Then, they maybe came out at $20, $25 and end up selling for 10, 5 even. And since the pandemic, some are 30, 50, $100. It's crazy.
And-
People have been
and
sitting
why?
on them.
Why
No
is
one
that?
wanted them. And I think
Why
people just
do
something
people
to
want them
open.
now?
They want something to open. There's Hall of Famers in there now, and you can get them graded. They'll be mint cards, so you might be able to get some high grades on them. It's crazy, but I wouldn't personally buy them, but people love them. So I got a ton of it still. We sell them all the time.
Oh,
I mean, one of the big ones in was Pro Set Football.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
overprinted. I mean, the joke is they're still printing those.
I got that one. That's
Very
the one
good.
with, they had the Santa Claus card in there and,
There you go,
the fridge or something,
Yeah,
right? There was
they did a
something
lot of
wrong with the
cool,
fridge.
variations and stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing too. If you want to go online and have some fun and go really deep down a rabbit hole, take a look at Pro Set errors because they did tons of different errors in there, and some of those are worth some serious money.
Wow.
But you're gonna have to go through thousands of cards to find a $100 card, $200 card. But you could buy that stuff so cheap. People were just buying boxes of commons off people and then going through it because this guy's height is 6'3" on the back, and here's the air card that says he's 3'6" or whatever the air.
Oh yeah.
Not like the Billy Ripken from the junk card era,
No, nothing
That's
like
a
which
good
that.
had like
Yeah.
7 different versions or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the best or most valuable decade of baseball cards right now? If you had to collect a decade.
Oh, I would collect the outs from 1900 because
That's still the
the
case. I
Holy
thought maybe
Grail
it shifted. Yeah, right. That's like legendary, right?
yeah. But after that, I would say probably the 50s.
50s.
That's what I was going to guess. 50s. Cool.
What about what would you say? Because now a new set comes out and you can't find it on the shelves. I mean, people are for the same reason. They're buying it. So I guess they can pull the card and get it graded or whatever. So for people that just want to, just collect some cards, is there a decent era that's not bad? Is it that junk wax stuff? Go back and buy some old boxes.
Yeah, I mean, there's good rookies in there. There still are, and they're making a comeback. The McGuire Olympic rookie used to be $5, then it went up to 100, 200, then it went back down to $5. Now it's $30, $40, but the graded ones, 9 or 10s are still thousands of dollars. So he's not a Hall of Famer, but you got Roger Clemens in there. He's not a Hall of Famer. But then you got Kirby Puckett. So 85 is a good set. 84 has Mattingly and Boggs and them guys. So there's a lot of good Hall of Famers that you can collect from the 80s and 90s.
What about non-sports? I see people are breaking Marvel cards now on
crazy,
or Star Wars cards.
Yeah.
What's going on with it? What's going on there?
Well, hobby boxes, $500, $1,000, $2,000. It's nuts.
Well, here's where I know things are insane. I don't know if you may remember this, Jiminy. Do you remember Wonder Bread? when they had the Star Wars cards in them.
Yep, absolutely.
There were finds of those. I mean, warehouse finds of those things. If you do a search on there's the thing to search for on your Worth Point. Search the Star Wars Wonder Bread PSA 9 or PSA 10. It's insane the dollar amount that some of those cards go for, given how common they were
Well, they had
back
the
in
black
the day.
border.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
they were
then-
so
right.
common back in the day.
Yeah. Good luck getting a 9 or 10 though. That's the key.
Yeah. Was it Drake's or there was a who else?
Drake's.
Entenmann's. Somebody had a card. I had a Pete Rose on the Reds. I think it was Drake's. It came in similar to like how the
Oh,
Wonder Bread.
Was
Was
it
it
Hostess,
Drake's
was
hit
it?
him too. Drake
Was it Drake's? Was it Drake's? I had a, and it's almost like the holographic. Is it almost like, you know, when you, I don't know if that's the right word, but when you turn it,
Oh,
it has
Denny's
like,
had those. Denny's had those.
Or Kellogg's?
or Kellogg. Maybe it was, I know I
Yeah,
have a,
Indian
I have-
cereal.
Yeah.
I have a Dave Winfield on the Padres, and I have a Pete Rose on the Reds of those that I just
I
had
like
from being a
Pete.
kid. I wonder if they're worth anything. I never even looked
The
them
problem with those, here's a little insider tip.
up. Okay.
Don't collect those graded. And the reason why is you send it in to get graded. It comes back a 9. It can crack inside the case.
Oh,
now
my
you've
goodness.
got a graded 9 with a big crack on it.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that one. Eric has the same card. Cool. Yeah, I've had it in a box for years and years and years. Eric has Star Wars. Oh, Eric, I didn't realize you had all these cards, Eric.
Usually
Eric-
got everything. Didn't you watch
He
the
does
barn
everything
video?
we talk about. Eric chimes in with, "I have that. I have that." That's pretty cool. Lenticular. That's the wording. Lenticular card.
Like sports
Thank
flicks
you.
or something like that?
I guess so.
Yeah, but it was earlier. It was 60,
Late 60s, early
68.
70s.
I think it was the first year through the early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
83, they definitely had it.
Yeah, the Pete Rose, I think, is like 77 or 78. The one I have. I just
And
wanna make sure.
all right, so it doesn't matter. Star Wars cards, Marvel cards, people just buy them so they can go get them graded.
Well, and a lot of the inserts you can get signed cards or relic cards, so, you know, and they're going for crazy money. They have one of one, so there's only one ever made. They do printing plates of one of ones or autograph one of one. So, you know, you can potentially pull cards that are $1,000 to $5,000 or more, even. You know, it's crazy. Yeah. Star Wars.
What's your favorite? We've been asked this by our people here before. Do you guys still have grails that you seek out for yourself, or is it just so overwhelming all the crap that you guys see and gather that it's hard to even think about yourself?
No, I definitely. I'm a collector. I mean, I always will be. My father was, and there's, you know, as far as Star Wars goes, I have all the vintage stuff, you know, mint condition, loose. I have a ton of the unopened ones graded and stuff from the 70s and 80s. But then I lose interest because now the ones I need are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So I got a lot of the rare ones, but you know, the Holy Grails, I missed the boat on when I should have bought them years ago. And you know, after the pandemic, they just doubled, tripled. So then I move on to something else. I had a phase where I was buying graded comics for a while and filling in my collection and trying to buy high graded rare Spider-Man and Star Wars stuff. You know, and then I got to the point where now I need $5,000 and $10,000 of those. You know, so now I'm moving on and I'm bored. I'm bored with collecting. So I regret the Black Series of Star Wars. It's newer from like maybe 10 years ago. You know, like 6-inch figures, and I bought collections of those. And I bought them at like Christmas season when they were hot. So I'm like, let me just sell them. And I never collected any of them. And I'm like, you know, I got upset with myself. You know, I missed the boat on these, but you know, I'm bored. I haven't collected anything. So now I want to start the Black Series. And, you know, and I'm buying them every day on eBay. I'm trading with my buddies. It just gives me something to do where I always have to be collecting something. You know?
Gotta have
You need to be thinking of the next thing. You need to have a backup plan for the next thing that's only like $1 right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Go find something at the dollar store.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna catch fire and
Maybe that soap or whatever you were talking about earlier that it took fire and everybody had dropped the price on them on eBay. So I don't know.
See,
What about you, Dave?
I collect sports cards and comic books, and obviously there are many, many things that I need. However, the advantage is I collect across so many different sets and so many different comic series that I guess when you get down to it, I could go, we'll just say, I don't know, we'll just say Spider-Man #1. I would love to have one. I could go on today onto eBay or Heritage or wherever, and I could buy one. And what's the fun in that, I guess, is what you get down to it. So when you say Holy Grail, it's finding a Spider-Man #1
The hunt
out in the wild. So that's the thing. And I've got some, like, you guys go to Big Boys growing up, the restaurant?
No, but
Bob's
you know the
Big
guy.
Boys. Bob's Big Boys, right?
Well, yeah, they were different.
Yeah,
owners.
it's called Bob's.
Yeah, Bob, yep.
Yeah.
And remember how they used to give away the free comic book?
Mm-hmm.
I actually collect those, believe it or not. And you can pick them up at sales for $1 or under each. And they're worth. I'm paying $1 for them. They're probably worth $1.25. But when I'm out at a sale and I see one of those, I get really excited about it. Like, oh, Big Boy, I don't have, and I put it in my collection. I spent $1, and I'm happy for having spent $1. Obviously, I'd be happy if I found the Spider-Man #1, but I'm pretty happy finding that
cool.
for $1. And like today, I was talking to you before the show about having listed some comic books. Well, when I was going through the comic books, I found a 15 cent price variant cover from a Dell comic from 1956. You want to talk about going deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I said, wow, now I got a 15-cent cover price variant version, and I saved that. And I paid $1.50 for it, and it's probably a $50 to $60 comic. And so I was happy to add that to my collection.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really the secret, just to have lots of different things you collect, and you always be able to find something out there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea of having. Tell Chuck about that. Tell Chuck about that $1 per item collection thing. That's what his next thing needs to be. But I like that idea, to have something that doesn't have a lot of cost, but gives you that same kind of thrill of piecing your collection together.
Yeah, you got a rush out of it and it costs $1 versus a rush out of it spending $20,000.
I wonder if it's the same rush. I'll never know.
Hey, Christine, welcome.
You never had $1?
No, never have that. I don't carry that kind of cash around, man. No, I'm trying to think if I have any low cost collectibles, and I do kind of seemingly collect psychology books, and I can usually find those at estate sales for 50 cents or $1. And
yeah, definitely.
That's kind of fun. I mean, I don't get a thrill out of it that much, but it's kind of fun.
You should collect Iraq dollars that came back from the Desert Storm.
I'm gonna start doing that immediately.
I could probably set you up. $1.25 a piece. I can sell you a bunch.
There you go.
Yeah, you need to make some money on that.
Vintage kitchen cast
My
iron.
wife is pointing to my true. I've been collecting the G.I. Joes loose, trying to rebuild that collection that got thrown away 30 years ago or whatever it was.
3 3/4.
Yeah, those are my favorite things, and I'll get one, and I'll see if it's better than the one I had before to replace it, and then I get the O-rings from Ace Hardware, and I'll replace their waist so they're ready for fighting duty. So yeah, I guess I like the G.I. Joes. I would love to be able to buy them carded, for the same reason Chuck likes to buy those Star Wars carded. But they're ridiculous. They're just insane.
They're grading loose figures. Obviously, they've been for a while now, and even those go for crazy money.
I know.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Sometimes a loose one graded can go for more than a carded one. It's just,
Really?
Because
I
the
don't get
carded
that.
one may not be a 9 or 10, so it's it could be ungraded carded or graded loose, and the loose is going to win if it's a 9 or a 10.
Frito Bandito. Yep. Oh wow.
Frito erasers.
200 erasers or 200? Are we going back to the? This is why.
The WC Fields.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, I'll give you another little thing that I collect just to keep my eyes open for it when I'm at sales. And they're not worth anything, but I think they're really neat, and I've picked them up throughout the years. And actually, you can find them as bookmarks a lot of times too. Old lottery tickets.
Really?
I love collecting old lottery tickets. Well, I don't pay anything for them, but you're out at a sale, you throw it in a pile, you see one, you throw it in a pile, and they're like, okay. And they don't really charge you for it because what do they think? It's just some old lottery ticket.
Yeah.
But, things like that, I like to collect things like that. Just neat ones.
And they change weekly almost, right? I mean, they have different designs all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you collect outside of New York, or is it just New York lottery tickets?
No, anyone I can find. And, anytime I'm out there, if somebody's got a big box of paper stuff, I dig through, and if I see them, I put them aside. just Irish sweepstakes tickets I've picked up throughout the years. Just all these various different little things.
That's interesting. And it just gives you joy. There's no monetary connection here. It's just something you enjoy collecting.
Yeah, again, it's to throw the chase, and you're at a sale, and you're just like, oh wow, I just found this.
Just hang out in front of a mini mart. They'll be throwing them.
I lost again.
Being Silent Bob. Just hang out there.
Yeah, they're all over the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap
Well,
collectibles.
Marty,
Travis-
I do have a worth point thing mentioned to me already.
I was
And I
just
do have that up.
gonna make that suggestion. It's that time of the evening, 8 p.m., where Travis, we will all use his hard-earned cash for the subscription that he has. It's a worth point, and put it to
Now-
use. How many things do you look up a month, or do you just rely on these shows to look up stuff?
On worth point,
Yeah. Do you actually use it a lot?
I
yourself?
usually use them when I'm researching some online auctions that I might partake in. And then I'll also have a bunch of stuff that there's just not the comps on eBay. And like I've mentioned before, it's usually not so much about the price as it is finding out additional information about the item to make it seem more valuable, so more credible. So I definitely use it. I use it over 100 times a month easily.
Oh, okay,
it's
that's
still
fantastic.
what are we into? Month 3 now since we've been doing this.
Great. Yep.
And I've paid 3 times, and I still feel it's worth it.
That's valuable. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, put in your requests, everybody. If anybody has anything.
Now,
kinda
Dave had a good idea.
Yes, he did.
A little
How'd that
different
happen?
tonight, and maybe if it's really popular,
Law of averages.
we'll steal it, right? And we'll say it was our idea for the next group. But
Borrow it.
the $1 Million Peddlers are going to guess what the cost of an item is. So we will look it up. Now, there might be multiple comps, so I'll try to find one that's, in the
Matches our
middle.
guess.
What's that?
We'll try to find one that matches our guess.
No, you can't guess until I've got the item up on the screen.
Oh,
Okay, so we
Oh.
won't even put up this. I won't put the screen up until they put that guess through, right? And then
They've got to put they
Okay.
gotta commit that guess
Right.
live into the universe. All right.
Okay. Should we
So
give
the
them
first-
what about like a little bit of a range, like within $10, within?
well, obviously we're not going to get right.
Oh,
on
these
it.
guys are professional.
No, but what's considered a
Never know.
yes, they got it. If they're within $20,
$64.39.
Right. No.
It's got to be exact.
Right.
we need a range. We need a range. I guess it depends on the
All
value
right.
of the item, obviously, right?
If you want to cater to the guest, you can give them a range.
I'll
I
give 'em a little
say
leeway.
make them get it exactly right.
I'll give you.
What
All
the
right.
hell? Adult size 6-sided wood coffin.
Leave it to Win a Crow.
Winter Crow coming in
With the
again.
macabre.
Yeah. All right. We'll get to yours next, Winter Crow. I have.
Ooh, who do we have first?
I
I
have.
buy that because I know I can fill that with someone.
You can store some books and magazines in there.
Get some rest in there.
Um,
What's the
a
first one, Travis?
1977 Star Wars Han Solo Wonder Bread Black Border Gem Mint 10.
Oh.
I think
I will give you. I will also add additional clues. The additional clue I will say it was sold last year.
Ooh.
Are we both guessing separately?
Yeah, we're guessing separately.
Yeah,
you are?
unless
Oh,
you guys are a hive mind or whatever, however it works.
That's, I want to say 11,500.
Wow, I was
Okay.
going to go with 2,500. So
Well, I'll buy them all day long for that. I know better.
The actual retail price is.
All right, I guess I got to share my screen, huh? All
Yeah.
right, here we go. Here we go.
Plus, a year ago was during the pandemic, so it was probably at a peak. I'm guessing.
This is what I got.
You ready?
Yeah.
$455.
What?
No, that's way
I was
low.
way off on that. That's
Wrong,
Is
man.
it on eBay?
This one, yes, this
On
one
eBay?
did come from eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Last
that's,
July.
I think that's low.
I think I'm in the wrong field. I would have bankrupt myself on that one.
Don't pay 20,000 for any of those.
No.
Now,
I know the blue border ones from the regular series go for a lot. And I would think that's harder to get at 10 because it's black.
here's a pair, a Luke and an Obi-Wan here for
Maybe because-
1,100.
Maybe because that warehouse fine is price on it.
Yeah.
Oops.
We're still talking $500 each on them for 10s and again, they're not hard to find. By no means.
I mean, those are pretty. I'd be pretty freaking thrilled if I found those. So I think it's a good.
40 years.
It's pretty
old,
cool.
45 years old or so, and they're black border and mint.
Now look at this. This one's a 78. Now this is 10 years ago. It's a 9. I mean, but they're rare. I mean, this goes back 20 years.
The cards are rare. I think getting them graded high would be the rare part of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Complete PSA set. Now these aren't all 10s, more than likely. They're not. But that would be a pretty cool collectible to have all. Is there just the 16?
I think I found a new thing to collect tomorrow. It's not from the Black Series going right to those.
Buy them off of Worth Point. They're cheaper.
Nice.
All right, what do we got next?
We got Winter Crow, right? We're gonna look us up. Did anybody come in before her? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think she had an adult coffin.
Yes, 6-sided.
Oh,
No lining or furniture.
No lining or furniture.
Is this
No
handmade
handling.
by like a carpenter?
Yeah, I
did
would
it
need
come
to
from
know,
a
I guess.
funeral home?
I guess I would need to know the age of it. I guess.
Yeah, roughly, right? At least. Do you have any
And
idea?
I also need to know if it's been used.
First, you got to buy a shovel.
All right. Well,
I have zero idea on this. Oh, I don't.
The age is a crucial piece that's missing, right? The age is pretty important, I think.
Well, I guess the other question is, I mean, I don't know.
Here we go. 1910 to 1920.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
all right.
yeah.
That changes that.
Now we're getting somewhere. All right.
Well, just because I don't know if you've priced coffins recently,
They are not cheap.
they are not cheap. We'll just
Chuck's
look at
got
it.
another new collectible.
Yep.
I'm going to go with.
And it was a showroom model. That's another key consideration.
Okay.
All right. As is, you know what I mean? Used.
With shipping or without shipping?
Here we
Ah!
With a body or without?
Yeah.
I'm going to go $650.
Again, maybe I got too much money in my pocket. I was going to say $2,500.
I got to tell you, I am having a hell of a time trying to find this thing.
Well, surprise, surprise. Are there any, you see what Eric wrote? Are there any claw marks on the side?
From the inside.
No returns. Yeah.
All right, that's a telephone. Never mind. That's a telephone.
Close,
It's shaped like a
Close
coffin.
enough.
Some Disney.
Coffee. Is that close enough to coffin?
Yeah.
Eric Hughes up at 4,000 for this coffin.
Eric said 4,000?
Yes.
4,000. We're at 2,500, and we're at whatever I said. I don't listen.
Man,
$400 or something you said, didn't you?
600. I don't know. $380.
I might have to fail on this unless I'm spelling it wrong. Coffin is COFFIN, right?
That's what I learned.
What if it's filled with loser lottery tickets?
Oh,
Or a big boy program.
big boy comic. Yeah. It could be COUGHIN.
Coffin. Coffin.
Fred and
All
Mike,
right.
the dogs, with 825.
Let's get some other ones. Winter Crow, I am striking out left and right trying to find a coffin on Worth Point. I feel like I failed you. The closest I can do is a Disney Haunted Mansion Happy Haunts coffin. And I don't
much
think
was
that's
that?
what you're looking for. That's 1,800.
Oh, Mr. Magazine was closer to that.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. We'll give him the win on that one.
Okay.
Do we have any sneak in? Let me go back. Everybody's still laughing about this. Here we have Eric. Did you put in a request? I thought I saw Eric with something.
Eric's just telling us what another thing he has.
Another thing.
1,000
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He collects coffins too.
He probably does. Yeah, only sarcophagus is for Eric.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was just talking about his own collection. Fred and Mike the dogs have a request, I believe. Bronze Sicilian falcon statue from the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Size?
The fact that it's in a museum would make you think it's pretty valuable. Bronze Sicilian falcon statue.
Do they know it's missing?
Is it a replica? You
Just
can purchase
Fred
the
Mike's dogs are here.
real one or a replica?
Yeah.
My first thought was probably a replica from the gift shop of some kind
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I would hope.
I would hope so too.
Yeah, I got to throw a shout out to Fred and Mike the dog. I don't know this person to save my life, but I love their pictures of their dogs on Instagram. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Hey, I found a life-size Han Solo in carbonite. Is that what he meant?
Yes, I own one of those. I own two of them at the two different times.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's saying a gift shop item, 60s, 70s.
$25.
I was going to go with 125.
There you go. Go for it.
Probably worth that alone. You melt it down.
Anything at all, Travis?
Is an Egyptian one?
No, Sicilian. He said.
Sicilian.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Everybody's bringing their most obscure items out tonight?
Yeah,
This is how it goes. This is sometimes why this segment sucks.
No, it usually isn't been. It hasn't been this bad. This is
they're bringing the
digging
fire.
deep.
Hey, I'm not the $1 Million Peddlers, guys. I'm just this. I am not that famous. Don't make it super hard for me because I'm the one that looks bad.
Oh, he was.
All right.
Oh, that
Oh,
changes.
Southern
Oh,
Italian.
400.
Yeah.
400.
All right.
come with spaghetti
Maltese Falcon.
Yeah. How much is the Maltese Falcon?
The original?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing.
Striking out. Fred and Mike the dog's never coming back.
How about a working lightsaber?
Do we know it's a falcon? Maybe it's just a bird, some other kind of bird. They're dogs. They don't know. They don't know the difference.
The dogs.
Where did he say it came from?
The Met.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Do a search
Commonly
on
known
like
as the Met.
Met statue, Metropolitan statue, Metropolitan Museum art statue. See what comes up.
Souvenir. Metropolitan Museum of Art souvenir statue souvenir.
This is like you wish all these people did better SEO when they were selling their stuff.
Yeah, that's true. It's a replica for sure. Yeah. All right. Tracy has a relatively tame search, I think, coming up. At least I thought so until I realized I can't pronounce anything. Sure, look at that. Metlac, Villeroy, and Bosch.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the word Rochester.
It's got Rochester. It should be.
Yeah.
You probably have them right in your.
Need
It's in your death pile.
Yes.
the Rochester the Butler on Jack Benny show. That'll really be dry. And he's going, who's Jack Benny? Travis's.
That's funny.
I've heard of him.
You're welcome, guys. Sorry about that. That some are easier than others.
Yeah. The database for WorthPoint is, it's 20 years. It's 20 years of data. So and it's the worst and the best SEO that people use to sell items. So, I mean,
And the search itself is finicky. Like we found that over the last.
The search is not as user friendly nearly as like an eBay search. eBay Terapeak has a really nice search. It almost knows what you're thinking. But WorthPoint is just like every word for itself.
So broad. Yeah, exactly.
Now, have you ever tried searching on Google for the stuff and coming into WorthPoint that way?
Well, that'd be cheating. But yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
Sorry. That wasn't allowed as the rules of the game.
Yeah, we're changing the rules.
Yeah, it's a fluid situation. Yeah. Are you going to try Tracy's? Or are you still working on the?
I really want to find the Falcon. That's
right.
That's new folk. We want to keep the blood here.
You want to impress him. Yeah, you want to impress him.
Should we
Dawn
wait till we
found
find
something.
it,
Hold
or-
on. Dawn found something. You got a hit, Dawn? On the Falcon? Temporarily wrench you. Yeah.
South Italian. That sounds like Sicily.
South Italy, yeah, that would be. You can't get more south in Italy.
Okay, might have something here.
The suspense is killing us.
Yeah, I found it.
Get out of here.
Nice.
And I definitely did not cheat, as Dave suggested.
No.
Well, that should show you everything you need to know. eBay searches are the same way as WorthPoint searches. It may not show within the app, but if you use old Google,
Hey,
you can find anything. How about that?
We'll Google.
All
Well,
right,
Dawn
let me
just-
share this.
And Dawn
Let's
just
see.
posted a link too. I'm curious if it's the same item. It's got to be. But go ahead.
See, that's the kind we got. Again, I said being
Savvy
smarter
group
than
of
me
people.
is not a huge compliment, but we do have smart folk.
We do.
All right, here we go. Sharing the screen.
Insider
All right.
tip.
What'd we say? What'd you guys say?
Oh, price wise, my
I
goodness.
originally said 25, but then when you said Southern Italy, I jacked it up to 400.
Okay.
I don't remember what I said.
125.
125. All right.
You ready, Travis?
Do it.
I don't see the screen yet. You got to share it.
Well, that's because I haven't shared it.
Well,
Okay.
all right. You got to be so picky.
After
All right,
the
let's
break.
There we go.
$295.
95. Okay.
295. And I'm not comparing comps because that's the only one I found.
And I wonder,
But it's
and there's
cool.
Dawn's link. Is it the same thing?
It's got to be. Mike and Fred,
Wikipedia.
and Mike the dogs, they're going to agree no matter what because we really worked hard for them.
I hope they're still here to enjoy this. Are
They
you guys
probably
still here?
like.
They said thanks for trying. I think that was the only.
And they left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only seen one sold. All right. Yeah. Acknowledgement. That's it. Good job, Travis.
It's rough. It's rough. All right. What's up next?
Do they
Let's
have any
find
info
something
on the
easier.
Is there anything? This is 1200, guys. South Italy, circa 1200, right? In the on the bottom of the description.
Yep.
Wow, that's an old one.
I can't believe that's really from 1200.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a.
It's got to be replica.
It's a replica.
It says rare bronze reproduction.
He paid 31. Yeah, it says reproduction.
Yeah.
Still pretty cool if you paid 30 bucks.
Limited number of these were made. The original was found in 1925. See, this is one of the cool things of WorthPoint is they may have copy and pasted this, but this is like information you might not be able to find everywhere else.
Exactly, and it's all in one spot.
It just helps you. It helps inform you as to how to price it or something,
Yeah,
or how to sell it.
yeah.
All right, what's next?
Good job, Travis.
We've been like gangbusters so far. We can do another one for
Yo,
sure.
without question. We have Tracy. I would
Okay.
utilize the copy and paste once again on this one. 'Cause
That's a mouthful, yes.
that's a mouthful.
God, Tracy,
She always does this to us. What are you doing, Tracy?
what? I can't even pronounce like pretty much every word. Okay.
That's what I said. Is this a Mama Ventures item, by the way, Tracy? Is this something that you found in her house? Tracy's mom was on our show. She's adorable. We call her Mama Ventures. And she's a collector of many, many things.
Lottery tickets and big boy.
Lottery tickets and orphans and
Here's her address with all her lottery tickets.
Yes. No, she's big in artwork, right, Travis? She had a very nice art collection.
Well, she's also big into the biggest, giantest JFK pens
JFK
you could
pens.
possibly
Love
have.
to see. Size of your face.
You want a quick little bolo that you're not going to believe actually sells?
Yeah.
You're talking about art. Remember how when you were back in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, you drew things and your mom put them up on the fridge? Believe it or not, people buy those.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly the face I make. They go for $2, $3, $4 a piece if you get a bunch of them together from somebody or other. People buy the kids' art
Wow.
from when they were
My
kindergarten,
mom,
second graders.
she gave me I used to draw He-Man figures in the early 80s and Star Wars figures, and they looked like they were drawn by a 5-year-old or whatever. Do you think I could get money for those? Should I get them certified first?
I probably don't need to certify them. But
Okay.
people do buy those. I couldn't believe it.
That's
at an
incredible.
auction, I was watching them go for a couple of bucks a piece in a lot, 20
Yeah.
of them, like $40. I'm like, for that?
That's incredible.
No, they're worth more after, like, say, 80 years ago, because then the artist would have passed away.
Oh, yeah, I think the older ones
No,
are
yeah.
worth a little bit
Right.
more. But again, it's
Okay.
one of those deals. You're at an estate sale, and they've got the pile of the kids' art there in a pile of just paper stuff. You just, how much for this? I don't know, $5.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
That's
Okay,
incredible.
Tracy, I found your
All right.
Beer Brewery, Munchkin, Villeroy. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your? Let's
Oh, yeah, we
see.
have-
This
You
sold
found the
last
mug?
year.
You found the mug? Yeah.
Yeah, I found them.
Last word is
It
mug.
sold
Can
last
I ask
year.
what year it is?
You can ask.
Pre-prohibition or post-prohibition?
You can ask it. Pre or post prohibition?
Another
It's
insider.
made
tip.
in Germany. Oh,
Stuff
it's
goes well.
it's made in Germany, and it's got a stamp of 1909 on it.
Ooh.
I don't know if that means it's the year or what. It looks it looks more modern than 1909. So you guys can see here in a second.
I'm gonna go $1 per letter in that title.
Retire tonight.
Not bad.
$75.
What was that?
75.
75.
Okay.
I will go with $45.
Ah. Okay, let's see.
I would just base that off his saying it looks more modern.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, there's the mug.
Okay. Rochester on there once again.
$59.
There you go, right in between ours.
Yeah.
Very good.
Nice. Good job.
Great job,
Finally.
guys.
Finally.
Yeah, so here's the mark. And you tell me. See, this feels modern to me. Made in Germany. It feels modern to me. But I think that's still a pretty good price.
Could be 6,061. Could have been brought from the future.
Man, I hope it drives me to work. All right. Anything else come in after Tracy?
Winter Crow came up with a term for Dave's item there. Look at that. Brute
Oh,
art.
wow.
Art done by people with no art training is called brute art.
I'm a
Brute
master at
art.
root art.
Wow, I've definitely done some of that.
Yeah, Dawn, bring something cool. It's nice to look up stuff like this. This is the first time we're doing a little contest. This adds a new wrinkle to the whole segment, but it's a nice idea.
Yeah, there's no prizes or anything.
No.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Actually, we used to do something like that with the highest price of. We'd come up with anything like a matchbook.
Yeah.
Highest price sold, and we try and guess. Who got.
Oh, that's cool. Not pre-West German. Yeah, exactly. That's true. If it just
Yeah,
said
it didn't say-
Germany, it's
Didn't say
before.
West Germany. Yeah, so that's
Right.
a good point.
Yep.
Or after?
Or after, which would make it really pretty recent, relatively.
Oh, nice. That's a nice buy.
Yeah, nice.
Nice buy.
Okay, so my wife has texted me.
Uh-oh.
She said that Eric asked for a video game somewhere up there, and then
Oh, yeah.
Fred and
And
Mike
did we
the
miss it?
dogs were asking for the year
On
on the
the,
Falcon.
Okay. Didn't
I
we say?
think the Falcon wasn't them the Falcon.
Yes.
That's proper English.
How could you
Wasn't
forget?
them?
It wasn't them, the Falcon.
I'm gonna find out.
Okay. In what order? We're going year first? Is the first?
Well, if you can find out Eric's video game
Okay.
that he
Let me
was on,
scroll. If anybody sees it and wants to, or Eric, if you just want to repost
I was
it,
just going to say, Eric, why don't you
Just repost it.
again?
you guys got to do some work too. Come on, repost.
come on, guys.
It makes my life easier. I'm scrolling. I can't see anymore. It's tough to see. Eric. We have another request too from Fine Florida Finds.
Oh, Fire King. Nice.
Nice.
Okay, we have Eric's too when you're ready.
All right.
Seal. Oh, that's
1904. Just for Fred and Mike the dogs, according to the Met Museum reference for that piece, which I am actually just going to put in the chat,
Okay.
and then they can look up. Oh, why can't I put stuff in the chat? Oh, here we go.
Were you blocked?
Here we go. Block. Yeah.
Don't tell him.
Time
He didn't
out.
know.
So Fred and Mike the dog, that wet museum. That's something different. Metmuseum.org. That link there is all about that. The replica, and it looked like it said 1945 or something. on there. 1947.
And that was a lot. They guessed what, 60, 70. So that's a lot earlier than that.
Hopefully they make some bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I looking for? Ooh,
American
Earthbound.
Game.
Yes,
Yep.
Earthbound. That's a classic.
This should be easy. This should be a layup here. Come on. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Jeez.
Are you guessing?
I have zero. I mean, I'll guess. I have
It's got to
zero
be. I mean,
idea.
those games are high. I'm going to say $1,500.
Whoa.
Are we talking graded or just raw sealed?
Raw
Eric?
graded would be more, I would think.
Okay.
It's Super NES, so it's not the original NES, so it's a little newer, not by much.
All righty.
I'm going to go with $300 based on absolutely nothing because I've never heard of the game and I don't know what a Super NES is. So
You know what a Super NES is. Come on.
well, if you put
He knows what Pong is.
I do know Pong.
Pong.
I do know Pong. If you put 5 things in front of me, all that said the word Nintendo on it, I probably couldn't pick out which one was the Super NES.
All right. I'm having trouble finding a sealed one. The unsealed ones, it's probably a pretty rare box to begin with. But here's one with the box and complete. So not sealed, guys. But tested and working and complete. It's got its manual, its innards, all that kind of stuff. This is crazy. This sold 7 years ago.
Oh.
And it's the highest comp for a tested, complete, with all the stuff.
It sounds like we're way off.
Yeah, this is one of the most rare, if not the rare. I don't know video games. Eric probably knows, but this is one of the most rare Super Nintendo games you can find out there. And not only that, it's a good game. It's an RPG, I think, and there was a big following for it. So it's popular and it's rare.
That's the 1-2 punch for value, right?
Share the darn link.
Waiting for the boy to share his screen.
Did it work yet? Okay,
No.
sorry.
It's okay.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
So here's the thing: you can see a picture of it, and then you can make your guess for the price because I blocked the price.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Nice.
All right.
Share it.
On the fly.
Got to share it.
That too.
That too.
It does stink going back and forth. Sorry about
There
that.
we go.
Guys. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
A little tough to say. Hold on.
I definitely have never seen that before.
It's a
So you got
color.
all the innards. You got the manual. You got the box,
It's got to be way more,
and you got the game.
right?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was saying how high it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's years ago.
That was
So-
7 years ago.
so,
Yeah.
This sold 7 years ago, and it's the highest comp out there.
I'll go to $5,000.
I was going to go $5,000. I was thinking, how much can a little cellophane cost?
All right, here we go. 900.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
blew it all
Come
off.
on.
Oh,
Now a sealed one,
Graded
I would
sealed
not
outright.
doubt that a sealed one would go for $5,000.
Oh, yeah?
I bet that I would definitely bet that would go for 5,000, and that's raw. And then if they went and got it graded, they could probably sell it
well,
for
that was
100.
7 years ago, too.
Yeah, so
that was-
around
That's
where
true.
5,000.
Yep. Okay,
Good one.
Eric, is that what you were thinking? Yeah, that was the big box, Eric. The smaller box, they were less. Fire King.
Yes, that's the next item for
Okay.
consideration.
Moonglow.
I think. I want
These
to
are words I can pronounce. Okay.
hyphenated and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to check my feed and I'm going to find something I just sold. And I'm going to say, how about a 2006 Time magazine? I should probably still get the price wrong.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to find it.
Oh, no.
Gotta build the suspense somehow.
Yeah, we need
All right.
some
So these
effect.
are these mugs? Mug. Okay.
Yes, a iridescent mug.
Oh, these are neat. I don't know if this is the Kimberly one, but they're pretty cool.
Just started a collection from Finding Colors in the Wild, but I haven't seen an opal one.
Let me show this. Let me share this. I don't know if this is the right one or not. So hopefully
Okay.
they can respond.
Okay. I think she's right here waiting anxiously.
That's not it.
No.
Is that it?
Oh, there you go. It says like that.
Oh wow.
That's pretty cool.
It is really cool. And there's like plates and everything to go with it.
Is that the one?
I'll guess first. I know nothing about mugs,
Which means you'll probably be spot on.
but the only thing I know about mugs is I got an ugly mug. I'm going to go with 25 bucks.
Ba-dum-bum. 325, is that what you said?
No, I said 25.
25. Okay.
With mugs, I value them per letter, and this one would be $38.
There you go.
Not bad, guys. $47.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Very good.
Yeah, very good.
I was
Let
thinking
me just-
25, so when I'm out there buying it, I say to myself, I can only pay 5 on it, and then I'm pleasantly surprised when I get home.
Yeah.
So there is like a set of these things, like plates and stuff, and man, they don't go for much.
No, they don't.
I don't think these people knew how to market it. That's one of the things you see in Worth Point is you can tell when someone did not price it correctly
Mhm.
or market it correctly.
Or if the photos
I-
staying.
Now, does
Yeah.
WorthPoint tell you if it went by auction or by
Nope.
an hour?
Nope. No.
And you can't tell typically if it even include. I do not think it includes the shipping price, but that is not 100% for sure.
Yeah, we've tried to find that, and we can't ascertain if it definitely doesn't or definitely does include it. But we assume it doesn't include shipping. We think it's just the sold price.
Yeah. And just I
Whole
forget
rainbow.
who asked, but I tried the word Kimberly in there and nothing came up for Kimberly. So again, could just be a matter of the people not knowing as much as you just did by making that suggestion. So obviously adding the more words like that kind of adjective or pronoun in this case is going to sell that item better than these people did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else come through?
Very welcome. Go back. Let us know if anybody has anything else they want us to look up. We will be happy to. Yes, Winter Crow has something that's
Oh,
looks
boy.
like it's actually it's actually
Not a coffin.
it doesn't involve death or
It can involve death. Just the
anything
coffin.
morbid. 14
Whoa.
karat gold presentation. Longines Admiral wristwatch. Ooh.
All right. Going in.
Yeah.
Is this something you have in your shop, Winter Crow? Winter Crow has a nice little shop of her own
We're at
in New Egypt, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay.
What'd she say? 14 karat?
Yep.
Yep. Gold presentation.
Watches some crazy money. I don't know too much about them, especially with
Found a Jack Benny one.
Second Jack Benny reference to that.
I know.
Gotta be a
Make that
third.
comeback.
He's back.
He's only 39.
He's still 39.
All right, I'm going to say 1,200.
I was going to go with $880.
Did you see this? Winter Crow apologizes that it was a normal request. However, the owner is dead, so there's still that macabre element in her request.
Is it
All
Always
right,
has
so
to be.
this is definitely one of the items where there is a bunch of different
Yeah.
designs. So
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
was going to
tell
say
you-
there might be a big difference in price too, depending on what the value of gold was at the time.
Now, is the watch
Do
on
that.
the owner who's in the coffin?
so it's from 1910. Yeah, she found this in the coffin when she moved the skeleton bones.
Oh, wow.
All right, Winter.
25 years of service at GM. It was presented as like a anniversary
Oh,
gift.
that might. Okay, let's
that
do
actually-
GM.
I would say that would add value right there.
Yeah, those are cool.
Now they give you a Casio watch.
If you're lucky.
You get a Happy Meal. I think that comes with the watch.
Happy Meal.
All right, I'm getting close, I think,
Okay.
or not. Winter Crow's throwing up some tough ones. This one you would think would be. Yeah, this might be it. Okay, this is it.
You got to hit the curveballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. You got to learn to hit them. Got to stay back.
You got to stay back, and when they start pitching you up and in, you've got to be able to, inside out the ball to right field.
Yeah. And you don't back off the plate either. You stay in there.
All right, Winter Crow. This is my best shot at it. I hope.
Oh, she keeps adding new wrinkles every time you think you have it. Look at this. Now we have. Oh, just in general, if it has an engraving, it's valued less.
Yeah, this
Like if
one
it's
does have an
personalized?
engraving.
If it's personalized, like to John Smith, congratulations. Is that what she means?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm gonna drop it down to 1150 then.
I'm staying at 880. I'm not going to be swayed this time.
You good,
Okay.
Travis?
Yeah, you ready? Go ahead.
Yep.
Like I said, there's a lot of different ones in this ballpark.
Yeah.
This one had the keyword GM with it as part of an engraving, but not a lot. Again, and this was in the UK. Don't know how it got over there. If it's for GM,
That does seem really cheap.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
But there were others. I mean, the difference between that one and then this one which is very similar, but didn't have the GM thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to find a watch today, and even if you type in the model number of the watch, you get all these different ones.
Yep.
And I'm just not a watch expert. It's a good thing eBay is. It's one of the things they're experts at, but I'm certain.
Yeah, that's right. Only if they're 10.
All right, Winter Crow. I hope that was close to the one that you had. Apologies if not.
What was it? 100. How much was that one, Travis?
It was $110 UK.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
It has a white face, not dark, but numbers are the same. I don't think that would make that much of a difference. Is anybody black face versus white face?
Can't imagine. I mean, other than somebody may want to buy one or the other, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
value-wise.
Huge difference in value. You're very welcome, Winter Crow. Anybody else?
How much did you pay for it, Winter Crow?
Yeah, that's the.
Again, Winter Crow, I think you could charge what you want for it if there's no comps.
That's always an option.
Because that was 10 years
Well,
ago. Definitely, that's not when Worth Point helps. That might give information,
Object, Benny.
but I would charge whatever you need to make that
3
profit.
references tonight. 3 or 4.
And did we do Jack Benny again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rooting for relics.
Big fan. It was in a
Hey,
box for
Taka?
$20. Okay. All right, we have Lori Gonzalez.
No other reselling show talks about Jack Benny. It's the third real reselling.
Anytime you guys want to come on and talk about Jack Benny,
I think it's on a whole new
This is your
channel
show.
about Jack Benny.
yeah.
All right, Lori Gonzalez with the next request for you, Travis.
Royal Order of Jesters, gold white, ceramic. And here's the thing, you guys give your feeds as if this is people like how they should type the SEO in.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is nobody did this before. So you guys are ahead of the game. Another
Like it.
Jack Benny reference right below that.
Here we go, of course.
I'm going to go
On the
get
radio
lost.
last night? Get out.
Oh,
Well, it was an old radio.
The Cosmic Radio. It was a
Was
vintage.
it one of those, the time travel radio where
Yeah,
it like
yeah,
surfs the atmosphere? And
exactly. In search of ancient broadcasts, yes.
Tip your waitresses; they work hard.
all right. Wow. Lori, is this an Arabian turban jester?
Oh, it's Canadian. Well, that explains it, right? They're a little behind the times.
Jack Benny's still alive in Canada.
He's still, they didn't get the news yet.
Yeah, well, they have that ratio difference of dollar to Canadian dollar.
Where's Jack Benny in the order of justice? He should be. Should be the Grand Poobah.
Hey, tomorrow when we see Jack Benny's trending, we know why.
That's right. We started it.
Hashtag Jack Benny. Is it made by the Royal Dalton?
Dalton, yeah.
Is that what she's saying?
Nope, it's the kind at court. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, the court jester. A court jester?
Well, I'm finding court jesters, but
Dawn. Hey. Oh, Canadian. Canadian, sorry.
She spelled A wrong.
Oh, that's a good question. You see that, Mr. Magazine?
Oh, like for us
Like a
consignment? you're talking
receiving, yeah, like a receiving area, something where somebody could bring stuff into you.
about?
The street.
The counter.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a counter. But, yeah, that's about it.
That's cool.
Kind of a small store, which again you'll see when we end up doing those videos.
Yeah.
Well, small because it's packed. It's
There you
packed
go.
just like the warehouse.
You see that, Travis, with the hat and bells? You know, like a court jester, like you would see, like
Like paper.
like Jack Benny with
Jack
a
Benny
hat and
with
bells
red-
on,
That's right. Court jester, she said. Yep.
and it's a statue or a mask or
It's funny. You have to go back to the original one over and over. It just says figure.
okay.
It just says figure.
I'm still looking.
All righty.
It's not quick.
It kind of looks
Sorry,
like
guys.
Lennox, but it's not.
Annie Lennox?
She was a big Jack Benny fan.
It'd be Royal Dalton then. Royal Dalton was like Lennox, wasn't it?
Freemason Shriners thing.
I really don't know. Could be.
You've never had any?
No. That I really don't.
Yeah, I see a lot of these Shriners things, but I definitely don't think that's what she's.
Yeah, it's a
looking for.
figure, she said. Laura said figure. Dawn with the correct writing of A.
Take off, eh?
What are you guys, like 20 minutes from Canada, basically, up there? Pretty close, right?
We're about an hour?
Hour. Yeah.
Hour and 10 minutes, yeah.
You guys ever source up there?
I have a couple of times gone up there and done it. The problem is I find all the Canadian stuff to be really, really neat, and there's not a big market for it down here. So I end up buying a lot of Canadian. Like I still have a couple of CFL things. Like, oh, the CFL, it's really rare stuff, and I brought it down here. And
Nobody cares.
nobody cares down here, and up in Canada, it's more common, and they don't want to pay the shipping to have it sent up there.
Gotcha.
And so I may start collecting CFL stuff that doesn't sell.
Canada's why I became Mr. Magazine.
That is true.
Why is that?
I bought an 18-wheeler of magazines, 100,000 magazines.
Oh, really? Is that
About
really
10
real?
years ago? So it's kind of got me started. I had magazines for sale before that.
Uh-huh.
A gentleman contacted me and wanted to sell a collection. He was dying of cancer and didn't want to leave his wife magazine. So we made a deal.
Oh, that's nice. Those things are heavy.
It wasn't an easy deal because we had to deal with customs, a trucking company, and labor.
Yeah.
And stuff, but
Oh, wow.
made it happen. Yeah.
Bill of lading, all that fun stuff, because of logistics to get it through. And the gentleman was very, very thorough about everything. And I do not mean that in a bad way whatsoever. But customs was like, well, they need to know the country of origin. And he's like, I'm not going through 100,000 magazines to say 7 of them are from Sweden. And it's like, they're not going to go through 100,000 magazines to say 7 are from Sweden. They just want you to say United States and 82,000 of them and 18,000 Canada. They're not going to check your numbers.
Right.
But he was like, look, 25 are from Germany. I'm like, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's just, some bureaucrat somewhere, how these bureaucrats are. They got to check the boxes off, and if it's not filled out, they can't get it through.
Yeah.
And I speak as a bureaucrat.
As a
All right.
fellow-
This is the closest I can find. Hoping it's what she's asking for. Let me
Okay.
share.
Yeah.
What size is it?
Let's see if it gives that detail. It's about 11 inches tall.
I was gonna say probably about a foot tall, I guess. So
And
yeah, right.
it's from, what, a year ago? No, 10 years ago.
All right, you got the photo, right? Ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with $40.
I was gonna go with 45. So
Oh, there you
when I based on nothing.
You guys see it?
Yep.
$50.
Look at
You guys
that.
are right.
Oh,
Nice.
hey,
You guys are good at this game.
took us a while to warm up, and now we're doing a little bit better.
A game
Yeah.
that didn't exist an hour ago, but they're very good at it now.
Writing the rules. Writing the
Yeah,
rules
right.
as you go.
Exactly. As we go along, yeah. Look at that, though. That's phenomenal. That's a
I
great
would
job.
venture a guess that we may be two of the greatest worldwide players of this game.
Oh, without question. Hall of Fame bound.
I don't know. I bet there's
go.
people
I
that
was
haven't
way
even
off
played
on
it
the
yet.
first one, which you
We don't know.
Now, Jack Benny, if you've ever seen one of his, he was great at this game.
Lori's been reading about ancient cults.
Uh-oh, saucy
What I
connection.
just caught up
See?
with. And
Here we go. When a
first
crow
thing I
digging
saw.
deep. Yeah, when a crow finding something nasty, of course.
Now we don't recognize Winter Crow from having being on our channel, so definitely come by and check it out.
Yes, do so, when a crow. She's on Don's show a lot.
Okay.
Yep. And Dom's, I think, too. Good job, Sarah. Very, very good job.
You know who actually used to be on Don's show a lot as on the feed that I really always wanted to come over to our feed would be, Are You a Collector? Because I want Mr. Magazine to read that, and every week I answer that.
That's a good idea.
All right.
How is that destroying? I'm singing your praises.
No, I think Winter Crow Marty was trying to get you a service fee for showing up to some other shows too.
That's okay.
Kind of as a ringer.
Right, right. Oh, she definitely is.
Hit the like button.
Please do.
Hit that like button.
Dawn is everywhere. Yes. Is that Canadian for yes? I have no
I think
idea.
you do have a life. Your life is here with all of us, Don. So
You're the life of this party. Let me just tell you.
oh, Winter Crow. Yeah, if I can't find it on Worth Point, Winter Crow knows where it is. Or Eric. It's in Eric's barn.
All right. Anybody else have any?
Came with some tough ones tonight.
Yeah. Got about 10 more minutes. So if anybody has a couple left, we have time maybe for one or two more at the most.
Now, what do you guys sell primarily?
Travis put on a we were talking about death piles a couple of weeks ago, and he took the phone and walked around his house. He has the most organized high-end death pile I've ever seen. It looks like you're going through a department store. It was beautifully labeled, and everything was like size order. It was amazing. We could all have a field day shopping in his death pile. Let me just tell you.
I would like you guys to come over and do just
I would
that.
be. It's worth the flight. I really think it's worth the flight. He had incredible stuff. They would probably really enjoy his stuff. Travis, some of that stuff you had.
Yeah, I know.
They really would. They would.
I think I've purchased some of his stuff based on things I've seen on their shows.
Oh yeah.
Now, what part of California are you at?
I'm from California, but
Oh.
I live in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour south of Denver. I guess I sell pretty diverse stuff. The latest thing I'm into is whatever I can buy in bulk that I feel there's some unique buyers out there, whether it's vintage little military lead figures. I'll buy a bunch of them. I bought a bunch of military modeling magazines, which have been selling really well for me in big lots.
That's interesting. Nice.
Like one of the estate sales, this guy was I don't know, I think he was a colonel or a captain in the army in Berlin in the mid 70s. He was also loved miniature models. So he had hundreds of magazines that he purchased over there in Berlin or UK when he was there. And he also had tons of sealed figures, both metal and plastic, as well as ones he had painted and stuff. So that's one of my later things, but I'll buy in bulk. I never did magazines until I watched you guys, and they're not, man, they're not. I don't like listing them separately, but lotting them up for sure. Done well there. But yeah, pretty diverse. I've done, like I said, I can just walk down in my basement right now. I'm not buying anything new. I'm just,
Yeah, seriously. It's amazing.
I've turned it off. I've got a lot of good stuff. I've got a bunch of Garbage Pail Kids that I'm trying to get up. Patches, vintage patches, a ton of posters and prints. So I got enough to do.
Travis,
I'm not buying anything else.
You would do great on Whatnot, like sales out of your house. I think you would do amazingly well doing that.
Love
Or
to
the
be on
YouTube.
there.
You really, I know you said you applied. It's pretty difficult to get approved or something through that with that app.
Maybe if you have my personality, but otherwise, I think anybody else could get on, no problem.
Oh, I think you would do great with that. Or the YouTube. A lot of people sell right on YouTube. They
Yeah, I'm
haven't-
gonna start selling on your show if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. I
Yeah.
prefer.
What about you guys? Have you guys looked into Whatnot?
We've talked about it a little bit, haven't really acted on it. I mean, I know so many people are talking about it. I know that
Yeah.
Prime Time is doing sales on there. I got to reach out to him and see how he did on there because I don't actually know if his items went well or not.
He's doing well with comics, he said. on
Is
that.
he? Okay.
Yeah, really well.
He's definitely got a good. I think Whatnot is almost less about what you're selling and more about your presentation. And I think Primetime has a really good kind of niche for that presentation and that kind of entertainment value.
Knack, yeah.
That said, man, a lot of those people on there, it's a turnoff for me. I mean, they're all way younger than me. They play copyrighted music. Most of this music I am not going to listen to. You know, they use a lot of, you know, sex sells and all these other kind of things. It's just not my vibe for me. But I think it's going to be popular because it's essentially the last 30 seconds of an eBay auction nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop. It's addicting. Everybody says it's very addicting.
You can spend a lot of money really quick. Yeah, for sure.
Before you know what hit you.
Yeah.
Is anybody doing lottery tickets on there? Or?
I haven't seen lottery tickets. You could be. Hey, yeah. Hey, Whatnot. I've got some lottery tickets I'd totally like to flip over there.
Hey, Jan. How you doing?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be for every market.
No.
I saw
a guinea pig. Sometimes he's a guinea pig. Sometimes I am. So
yeah, sports cards do well.
Sports cards.
If you've got a lot of sports cards to unload. You can definitely find a market there. That's for sure. Comic books the same way. If you do Funkos and action figures, all that stuff too. No problem. Especially if you got a bunch of stuff that's just sitting there. Like the stuff that hasn't got to eBay yet because you just don't have the motivation or the resource. Anything in those categories, you could just get on there and blow out. And that was my primary reason I wanted to get on there. Just I got a lot of stuff I'd just love to get rid of like that. But
you were talking about buying things that you had gone to the sale and the gentleman had been in the military in Berlin and England and all that. And I don't know how many newer resellers you have watching a show versus experienced resellers, but I would say that we're fairly experienced, having done it for since early 2000s. You still, I will admit, you still get this rush, and not a positive rush, this rush of, what am I doing when you're there? And take those military models and all that stuff, for example. Say the person had said, $800, you take all of it. You know it's a good deal, but you still have this rush like, what am I doing? When am I going to get listed? Do I really need to buy this? Or even worse is when it's something you really can't find comps on your phone on a quick search, and you're sitting there going, this has to be rare because it's a bunch of 1940s Japanese magazines about, or the one we always talk about when we talk about the bonsai magazines. He did very well on them, but if I went into a sale and they had 500 bonsai magazines, I'd be like, do I really want to pull the trigger on these? Because what if nobody wants these? And so, I know $100 is a great deal on them, but so to anybody newer out there, even experienced people get that fear rush whatever the opposite of an adrenaline rush is. You definitely get it because you're saying, am I throwing $100 away for stuff that I'm never going to sell? And
well, that's where your experience comes into play there. you can probably, you know, maybe it's not a magazine you've purchased before, but you got an idea of the buyer. You can probably, even though you get that rush, you can probably figure out, all right, I'm going to proceed. Whereas, you know, I was just looking at a bunch of auctions tonight that were all a bunch of 70s rocker. This guy was the manager for Van Halen? So he had, and he's here in Springs. So he had a ton of stuff online, itineraries, hotel bills, all that kind of fun ephemera stuff. But they knew what they were doing because they parted it all out. All that good ephemera that typically you'd walk into a room, you'd see it in a box. You're like, give me that box. Nope. They had it all parted out, all these posters and prints and autographs. So it started getting very expensive. And I had that feeling. I had the feeling you just mentioned where, is this the right move? Because it also meant a lot of learning, a lot of new listing, a lot of new shipping calculations, a whole bunch of new stuff. And I've got this big death pile that I need to get to first. So I passed, but I know what you're saying. And that's a great point for sellers. So it's good to hear you still get it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Now, Mr. Magazine, do you get it too when someone rolls up and they're like, yeah, I'd like 15,000 for this?
Yeah, I love that stuff. The bigger, the better. The more expensive, yeah, it's a rush. Something
Nice.
different or something I haven't seen ever, or something I've always wanted. You know, it doesn't take much. You know, I'll take a risk on it too. I don't care.
Oh wow! But you get that rush.
I think the one advantage that we have is that we have been doing magazines for so long, and as we say to each other a lot of times, if we've never seen it before, it's probably good.
Great point.
Yeah. I think that you could say that for a couple other markets, like I think video games. That's still a great market for that because you see all the same video games nonstop. And sometimes when you see that one video game you haven't seen, you just take a risk on it. Like, I'll go ahead and take it, even if you don't have access to a comp or something. But that's a good point. Yeah. So what do you guys got in the future? So you've been rolling out the bolos on Saturday. What are the kind of consistent type show formats do you guys roll out each week?
Whatever we think of beforehand, we
Well, whatever he thinks of and doesn't tell me.
That's how he keeps everybody engaged. Is like, what's your magazine going to say to this?
That's right.
When we first started the channel, we had talked to Don and Dom about, you know, how often bringing videos out, and we kind of decided that we could do 3 days a week easily. And I've always liked Jimmy Buffett, and I don't know if you're aware of his albums or not, but one of his albums was a concert album, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. And so we put our videos out Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. And it evolved into bolos on Saturdays. And the reason why was we figured Saturday is a good day for a lot of people sourcing. And maybe people could catch the video before they go out sourcing, or while they're out sourcing, while they're waiting for, you know, your wife what you're sourcing, and she finds something with a lot of purses, and you're looking around going, I'm kind of bored. Let me watch this video while she's before we go to the next.
No wives were harmed in the filming of this, by the way.
Well,
and then we went into the live show on Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern, which is always fun. And otherwise, it's just whatever kind of strikes the fancy. I've got about 4 or 5 ideas written down back over there. We've gotten to shooting. We now shoot Wednesdays before the live show to make it nice and easy, because we had been getting up, and I'd been going over to 5:30 in the morning to shoot videos on Saturdays or Sundays, whatever worked for us. And believe it or not, random neighborhood kid, teenage kid, didn't really like getting up at 5:30 in the morning to push a couple of buttons. I don't know how odd that sounds.
Yeah, it's just a couple buttons. Yeah.
Now we do it. So now we do the shooting right before the live show, and really just whatever strikes our fancy. The one area that we do not do a lot of like current event type things. Occasionally we'll do like a breaking news kind of video. But generally speaking, we're not that. We're more into the evergreen things that'll help you out long term.
Cool. So the Wednesday live, I know that happens. And to your point, I actually watch those Saturday ones on Saturday when I have no other obligations, and I just kind of wake up and I want to chill, and I want to watch and just kind of enjoy something low key. Because again, you guys are real and you're low key, and that's like the perfect show for me on Saturdays. It's like my Saturday morning cartoons these days.
With a cup of coffee, right? Yeah.
Yeah, a cup of coffee and watching $1 Million Peddlers. Yeah, for sure.
Anvils dropping, everything.
The Anvil. Yeah, I haven't seen the Anvil episode. I got to go back and watch that one. Yeah. All right. And we got Paperboy Palace coming up. Don't forget that.
That's right. Winter Crow, I don't have a lot of I have sporting news and I have Sports Illustrated, but not too many. Well, boys, it is 9:00 here on the East Coast. You guys good? You want to hang out a few more minutes? You have to wrap it up, whatever. Leave it up to you guys.
Probably wrap it up, I guess. Yeah, I've been up since 12:30.
Yeah, and you got to get up again in a couple hours, right, Mr. Magazine?
Why don't you just go directly to work?
Take a nap. Take a quick nap. All right, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And one thing, the other thing, and hopefully people enjoyed our attempts at humor today, because that's what we try to do on the show. We try to entertain you along with teaching you things. So if you haven't checked the show out, we definitely would appreciate it.
Yes.
A lot of times I'll be making a little joke or a little comment that I make myself chuckle. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, 3 people watching this may have chuckled. And if those 3 people chuckled, I've done my job, but I haven't taken away.
It's usually me.
But I haven't taken away from the main thing. We don't dwell on the jokes. We don't dwell on it. You just drop it and you move on and still give the information.
Yeah. Excellent
Hey,
point.
Quick question while we're wrapping up, because this, and all these people in this chat who have watched you, maybe they already know this. Maybe you mentioned it. Where did the thought come up for the rambling story of the day? Did I phrase that right?
Rambling of the week. Yeah. Rambling story of the week.
Yeah. Where's that from?
One of the first live shows we had, they're kind of definitely seat of the pants shows. And just out of nowhere, I believe I thought about something that had gone on with an appliance that I needed. And I just kind of mentioned it because it just kind of tied into what we were talking about. And I got my chops busted by a couple of people in the feeds, like, it's a reselling show. You're talking, in a friendly way, but it's a reselling show and you're talking about appliances, really? Kind of deal. And it was like, all right, well, if we make it a segment, then we have an excuse to talk about a rambling story of the week.
I like it.
It's always right after our main topic. We don't plan the show out as far as hitting the posts. I mean, that's one thing. I've listened to a lot of radio in my days, and it's one of those, oh, you got to hit the post at this point. You got to do this at this point. Oh, it's a hard out, all that kind of thing. And you can only talk for 7 minutes. And we try not to do that. Yet we always seem to, in the live show, hit the main topic at about 40 minutes after. It just happens that way. There's enough other things to talk about till about the 40-minute mark. And usually about the 53 to 55-minute mark, it just happens, is when the rambling story it works out that way without any planning at all. Just kind of the natural ebb and flow of the show.
Yeah. So some deep-seated psychological damage is there, and it just pops up kind of habitually now. I like it.
Definitely.
And it is kind of funny when you're listening to it, like, good God, this guy is rambling, but you hang in there because you now are hooked and you want to figure out how's this going to end. It's never death or anything. It's nobody ever dies, but it's always something interesting.
Well, it's the are you familiar with the comic strip Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
There's the Nancy theory of comics. And I've read comics 40 years. Every day I've read Nancy. I've never laughed, but I have to keep reading it because today might be the day that it makes me laugh. So wow. That's kind of the rambling story of the day.
I like it. Someday I might laugh at it. Yeah.
Yeah. You just keep going back with the hopes that you will, that'll be the day, right? The one day.
I want Mr. Magazine to ramble though at some point. You got to let him have a ramble.
Yeah, you had a
3 or 4 segment rambling recently.
Really?
Yeah.
All about his
okay. Like I said, I didn't do any research before this show. We'll have to go back and watch.
And I encourage everybody to do that. Exactly. I'm going to put, again, a link for $1 Million Peddlers there.
definitely
their
do.
YouTube
It's a lot of
channel.
fun.
Thank you.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Go like and subscribe to their channel. I want to thank you guys really very much for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. It went very fast. 2 hours, Travis. My God.
Yeah.
An hour of it was looking up that Falcon, but other than
Oh,
That Falcon
a little bit
in
of
the
shrapnel.
coffin.
But anyway, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Travis, as always, and thank you everybody for joining. We'll be back next Monday.
Oh,
Yes,
hit the like button.
hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button.
I never tell anybody to do it on our channel, but
I never do. I thank you everybody for
tried it.
remembering.
Yeah.
You did what?
I try to hit the like button every time I watch you guys. And us too, Jiminy.
Automatic. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody. Have a great night, and thank you again. Bye bye.